Good morning, everybody. Yesterday we discussed about the karma account, where one who follows the basic principles of Bhagavad Gita on karma theory is whatever the karmas, good and bad karmas they have brought in, if they do release their karmas by fulfilling their duties without attachment, whether they face good things in life or bad things in life, in both situations, if they remain calm and carry on their duties by which they release all their karmas, good and bad karmas, and ultimately at the end of the life, when all the karmas are released, they attain moksha. Whereas it is not the normal case with common man, because common man, whether with his mundane samsaric life, he comes across various situations where he faces arrows which he doesn't anticipate. So even if a person of a highly experienced spiritual man also, he may come across a situation where that arrow may create in him a dejection, an anger, a jealousy, a hatredness, a vengeance attitude. All these egoistic gunas may come to him. Or he may have fear, insecurity. All these factors, without his knowledge it comes. And whenever an ego is created, a jealousy is created, anger is created, fear is created, which is again the basic principles of karma theory. That means what? When an arrow hits you and you react in this negative way of jealousy, pride, hatredness, all these things, there, instead of releasing karma, you accumulate a new karma for yourself without your knowledge. So by which, when you come with 1 lakh good karmas, 1,50,000 bad karmas, you go with 90,000 good karmas, 5 lakhs bad karmas. So by that way, you accumulate more negative karmas, which leads you to take the next birth, wherein you suffer with lot of further difficulties and tribulations in life. So one should realize this truth about their way of life, why they are suffering so many problems despite they having the divine consciousness, despite they pray to God and they pour the Atma Bhoj before the God, telling that I have not done anything bad, but still why I am facing all these kinds of problems in my life that disturbing my peace. This is all because of your past karmas, wherein within your knowledge you have committed all these things that has accumulated. But at least by this stage you should realize that whatever happening in life today, this second onwards, all these are all, if anything bad happens, don't get dejected. If anything good happens, don't get excited. In both situations, you should realize these are nothing but release of my positive and negative karmas. So, if you want to realize all these things, one should develop the habit of Atma Vicharana. Atma Vicharana means self-introspection. So right from the time when you get up in the morning till you go to the bed, at each and every act, a part of which forms part of your duties when you are doing, you have to observe how your buddhi reacts to each and every event. You have to observe whether the buddhi is in sensual conscious mind at a particular event, or ego conscious mind, or Atma conscious mind, or divine conscious mind. While doing Atma Vicharana, if you observe that the buddhi is in the Atma consciousness or divine consciousness, you accept it. If it is in the sensual consciousness or ego consciousness, you have to take a precautionary measures, because by that event you already accumulated a bad karma for yourself. So, having accumulated bad karma, you cannot do anything, for which you have to face the reaction, because for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. But at least by this Atma Vicharana, the next second onwards, when you face the similar event, you can at least see how you can able to overcome. Because by this Atma Vicharana alone, whatever negative blocks in you can observe. Because these negative blocks are nothing but accumulation of various negative events which has happened over a period that is stored in your subconscious mind, and which is getting accumulated and accumulated like a mountain hill. Only through Atma Vicharana you are going back and see why this is happening in me. What is the problem? Though I come to know that the negative karma is accumulated to me, why I couldn't change? This is mainly because the negative karma is accumulated in your subconscious mind. By doing Atma Vicharana, now you know, oh, there is a big block. I have to remove this block. How you can remove the blocks? You have to either pick up, because when you are going on the way, there is a big block which is obstructing your further proceeding to the next level. Then you have to either remove the block. If you cannot remove the block, you have to break the block. You have to break the block and then move. If there are thorns in the road, you have to remove the thorn, or you have to jump and go. So this is the Atma Vicharana gives you an opportunity to see, give the light to see there is a block in you, there is a thorn in you, which is making your buddhi to remain in the sensual or ego conscious mind when a particular event is happening. Though you don't want to feel bad about other person, but his past experience that is stored in your subconscious mind. One of your friends has committed a great blunder. He has cheated you, and the cheating is got stored in your subconscious mind. As and when you hear the name of the friend, you immediately get very tense. You get angry. You feel you want to take vengeance because he is not available. Somehow he has cheated me. I want to see that he suffered because he cheated me. This is mainly because you are in the ego consciousness. If you are on the divine conscious level, you will realize that cheating is nothing but a cheating already done by me in the past, which is being released now. So, by forgiving that act, by realizing that my already cheating act has been compensated by my friend's cheating, so you forgive him and forget. Forgiveness and forgiveness of the past negative acts is nothing but the divine thought, a godly nature. Forgiveness is not so easy. Only God conscious people get that. So, that forgiveness and forgiveness will imbibe in you the godly nature. And if you feel vengeance, anger, that accumulate negative karma, whereas forgiveness will release the karmas and it will not accumulate any negative karmas. In fact, forgiveness is godly nature. If a person cheats you and you forgive him, just like what Jesus says, if one person out of anger hits you on one cheek, show him in the next cheek. Because when this anger, if you show him one cheek, if you show another cheek, he immediately, the anger in him, which is in the ego conscious level, immediately comes to divine conscious level. He feels guilty of his mistake, how the anger has made him to hit another man. So that is the way in which you can, a divinity in you can make the other person who is in the egoistic level to move to the divine consciousness. So but this is one of the qualities we have to gain. But how to gain this? Because to remove the blocks in your mind, you need to develop a divine conscious practices for you to see how you can fulfill this. So divine conscious practices has been given to us by our ancient yogis and siddhas for everyone to follow, right from morning till night, how to do. Because that if one has to go to the divine conscious level, one has to know the Jnana Yoga and practice the Raja Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. These are the three things what our ancient yogis has given us in a very simple way. Because Jnana Yoga, by learning about ourselves. Raja Yoga is the technique by which we can break the blocks in our subconscious mind. And Bhakti Yoga is way to keep our subconscious mind with the divine vibrations so that it will not drag your mind, drag your buddhi from going in the negative path. Because in all the 4 levels of consciousness, the Bhakti Yoga fills with divinity. So what happens? Even the ego and sensual consciousness your mind will be filled with divine consciousness. That is the purpose of the Bhakti Yoga. So, one has to practice this Jnana Yoga, what these lectures tell about, and Raja Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. This has been well defined by our ancient yogis who have made this very simple for a common man to practice. Because if you want to attain self-realization, if you want to get divine enlightenment, it is not very easy to get. You have to do a lot of penance for years together, which our ancient yogis, rishis, munis used to go and do in forests or in mountains, remaining solitude for several years. But while doing this, they find it is not easy for a common man to come and sit in forests or in Himalayas to do this penance, to make self-realization. We have to see how he can able to attain this self-realization and divine enlightenment while carrying on his daily duties, mundane duties. Because one should not avoid these mundane duties and come to Himalayas. One should remain inside the family, carry out all the mundane duties perfectly, without attachment, with all involvement, with all divinity, remove the ego and sensual conscious mind, and see how they can keep their mind always in Atma and divine consciousness, so that they fulfill their duties without accumulating any negative karmas while doing this. Because the samsaric man, right from the brahmacharya, grihasthashrama, vanaprastha, sannyasa, in 4 stages of life, he faces lots of arrows depending upon his past karmas, different kinds of arrows. He doesn't know which arrow is going to come and hit him. Because what is going to happen next minute is not known to us. So that depends on our past karmas. The destiny is not known to us. We are going in the dark. Though we are going in the dark, we have to keep a torch and go. The torch is the Jnana Yoga. So whenever you come across any event, the next minute you going to face an event of arrow that going to hit you with negative situation. So immediately you have to keep your antaratma awakened, do the Atma Vichara. Atma Vicharana happens subsequent to the act. Antaratma will give us a witness to see when the event comes to you, oh, this event is a negative event. So this is the release of my negative karma. So I should not get attached to it, so that if I get attached, I get dejected, I get anger, I get hatredness, I get fear. No, I should not. The Antaratma will guide you not to get carried out by the sensual Atma consciousness. It keeps you, drags you inside to the divine consciousness. So you should not carry out by ego or sensual consciousness. The Antaratma takes you to the Atma and divine consciousness, so that it will caution you not to get carried away, so that you accumulate a bad karma out of that event. The Antaratma is very important. Every person should awaken their Antaratma. The Raja Yoga gives the opportunity for you to awaken the Antaratma. And Bhakti Yoga, I told you, it creates even a divinity. When there is a divinity inside your conscious mind, then always you will remain calm at all times. How the ancient yogis have taught us to develop this, to fulfill our duties, mundane duties perfectly, release all karmas and attain moksha. Let us see in the next session.